January 6th, the day Congress was set to meet and certify the 2020 election. And at the same time, President Trump held a rally contesting the results. Members of the audience broke away from the president's protest, walked into the Capitol building, smashing windows and broke into offices. Now, President Trump called for the protesters to stand down and peacefully protest. And since then, we've seen a committee formed to investigate multiple arrests, record requests, and more. And as we're less than a week away from the one-year anniversary, joining us is President Trump's attorney, Alina Habba, to help break it all down. Alina, welcome and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you for having me.
Alina, what comes next for those who were arrested and are awaiting trial in 2022?
Oh, I wish I had a golden, some way to answer that fairly. But right now, what is going on is so unfair to those that have been sitting for 23 hours at a time in a jail cell for protesting. And, they need to be heard. They need to have their trials. They need to get home to their families. And unfortunately, due process is a problem right now.
Speaking of due process, how long do you expect this to take?
I'm not involved in that case. Unfortunately, with the court systems right now, everything is very backed up. The Select Committee has been dragging their feet in a fishing expedition, looking for anything and everything they can. And I feel like they are holding it against these individuals who, and some of them are extremists, which are not a good thing. But there are others that were protesting and have just been held and not had their day in court. It's truly unfortunate. It should not have happened for as long as it already has, frankly.
And Alina, as we know, the Capitol is one of the securest places in D.C. It's covered in surveillance cameras, and yet there was very little release, and it was quietly released when it came to this footage. Why wasn't this a bigger deal?
In terms of security, that is a Nancy Pelosi issue, which she does not seem to be held accountable for, which I find not surprising, frankly, because she is part of the Democratic Party. If she was a Republican, I'm sure she'd be scrutinized and her text messages would be subpoenaed as well. But that's not the way it goes when you have a select committee who is not bipartisan, despite her promises to do so. She rejected all of Kevin McCarthy's selections. And now they're basically just on another witch hunt against the Republican Party and anybody involved. And, it's very unfortunate. But this really was on her. She should have known. She should have taken care of security. That is her job. But that was a failure on her. But she'll blame it on Trump. Not surprising.
Alina, what is your take on that select committee and where they're going with this investigation?
I think the Select Committee is no different than, Letitia James in New York. This is completely an electoral, political witch hunt, and the Select Committee has been reaching out to people that had nothing to do with it, weren't even there, were in New York. They're looking for some smoking gun that doesn't exist and just torturing and continuing the whole outlook to all the Democratic Party that, oh, look, Republicans are so horrible. Well, there were a few radicals there, and the Select Committee has now taken that and taken its turn to just go after basically anybody who has anything to do with the Republican Committee, with Donald Trump, and said, hey, show us everything, show us everything. Well, I don't know how it worked out that way, but they have no restraint at all, like everything else in our country right now, unfortunately.
And speaking of former President Donald Trump, what comes next for him in 2022?
In terms of this committee?
Yes, with the investigation and what's going to move forward.
He's cooperating just like he always does. And unfortunately, fake news, you get a lot of misreporting. There's really nothing to report. He was there. He was at his very calm protest, and he encouraged calm protests. Unfortunately, that there will always be outliers. There are the outlier crazies that we can't control. But he's going to cooperate as usual, and they're going to keep looking and keep digging until they finally say, oh, guess there was nothing there.
Alina Habba, Happy New Year, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.